What up, Razballers? Welcome back to another episode of the Razball Fantasy Football Show. We got a mock draft Monday. Tonight we're doing a redraft. First redraft mock draft of the entire summer as we turn the corner and head into August before we get into football season coming up in September. We're only a couple of weeks away, folks. We got a super flex redraft mock draft, Sky and Stiles, with you this evening on the Razball Fantasy Football Show. What up, everybody? I'm your host, Sky Guasco. Welcome back to another episode of the Razball Fantasy Football Show. Maddie Stiles in the place as well. That's at Stiles08 on the X machine. You can find me at Sky Guasco as well. As you can see, we already have the board pulled up. We have mocked all the way to pick 6, which is where we are drawn from tonight at random. Again, shouts out to our friends at Fantasy Pros. This is not a sponsorship by any means, just a tool that we're able to use, and so are you. So feel free to use the draft simulator at Fantasy Pros for your mock drafts this season. Of course, you can, find a ton of tools as well available to you for free from us at football.razball.com. We have a ton of new tools getting worked behind the scenes, a lot of your slot versus wides. We have home and away splits. We got all sorts of fun stuff for you at football.razball.com for free. Go check it out. Unique tools on the site alone. Everything Razball can be found at Razball NFL, RAZZBALL NFL. And of course, you can subscribe right here to the YouTube show for those of you watching us. Hit that bell, hit the mark, get ready for Sunday start sit shows, folks. It's the Quad Box. It's back. Popular demand. We'll catch you 2 hours before each show every single Sunday in your local kickoff time. And for those of you on the go, you can check out the podcast anywhere you listen to your audio as well, the Razball Fantasy Podcast as well. Maddie Stiles, great to be back with you, man. You and I haven't done a show just one-on-one in quite a while, man. It's been a nice summer. We've been enjoying it. You're down south now, further down south, I should say. So welcome back to the pod, bro. It's good to be rocking with you. And you have been extra behind the scenes here. And we finally get you out of the cave to come back for some air so you can hang out with us a little bit. But you have been in the absolute trenches putting together Raz Bowl. Raz Bowl finally kicked off today. Lots of hype throughout the industry. Gives us a couple pointers. What's the stoke behind the Raz Bowl? And congratulations and thank you so much for all your hard work behind the scenes.
Yeah, buddy, I'm exhausted. If I wasn't old, I would tell you that all of my hair fell out and whatnot. But,
thankfully, it already fell out. So you don't have to worry about that again. It's a one-time thing, you know.
And I'll tell you, right, people. So I've played in leagues on top of leagues on top of leagues for many years, and some of them, larger contests, and you go in, you sign up, you put a little data in there, and before you know it, you get an email that says, "Hey, your draft is whatever date. Your draft position is X, and get ready." Then you come back and you do the draft. What I've come to realize is there's a lot of work on the back end, and I don't want to belabor the point, but yeah, I'm tired. I'm very excited that the draft kicked off today, and I'm glad that it's one draft. Unlike guys like Scott Fishbowl, right? They're doing them all over the map. I don't know how they possibly keep up with it, but for ours, it's one slow draft across all 26 divisions. By the way, pat on the back. It's the most divisions ever. It's the most entrants we've had ever. And as always, thanks to the folks over at NFC, Greg and Jeff, for allowing us to be on their site hosted for free. And remember, because they give it to us for free, we turn around and give it to the customers for free. So I'm all about it. I will caution folks. Sometimes the draft room is hit or miss with announcing that you have a pick. So even if you've got the little bell, the little sound turned up, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it will let you know. You will also get an email if you've put in your email, which you have because we have it. Every time it hits the turn at the 1 or the 1, what would that be? The 1-1 or the 12-13. Each time that happens, an email will come into your box to give you a recap of who's been drafted. But from there, it's kind of on you as a big boy or girl to check into the league, make sure that you are within your 4-hour time frame, and go ahead and make your pick. And as I said in my Twitter post, my X post today, don't be that person. I've got a lot of feedback from some folks that have played this league a few years, played in a lot of other leagues, and they're getting a little bit frustrated with the time and out, especially in round 1. Most of these picks should be already written on the palm of your hand. You should be able to draft them anywhere in the world. So all I would say is be respectful of the other folks in the league. Go ahead and knock out your pick as fast as possible. But also, you do have 4 hours. We all signed up for it this way, so we get it. The timeout is where people start to take a little bit of offense. But we're a fantasy community. We're not mad at anybody. We're here to have a good time. And remember, this year only one person takes home all the prizes. So you've got to really show out and show up and be at the very top, the pinnacle, if you will, of fantasy football.
And so much of that razzing, if you will, comes out of excitement, man. Like, we've been mock drafting all summer. We're going to get one done here tonight. And a lot of best ball drafts have happened. Dynasty startups and dynasty drafts are happening. Keeper leagues are getting excited. It's redraft season now that we've kind of coming into August. So a lot of that energy is just like being stoked for a real draft, you know? My league is we're 7 picks in, so we're halfway through the first round. Again, it's a slow draft. Stiles, your league is actually coming back around already. You're mid-second round, which is nice. And the rest of the guys are in different orders as well. So again, be attentive to what you got going on, and we'll get it done as quickly as we possibly can.
And any issues, folks can reach out to me on the X machine or via email. And if they've got IT issues or any type of problems, be sure to let me know, and I'll do my best to respond right away. And you know this guy, all questions on my articles,
100%
answered. So I try to do the same here on the X machine and through the draft room. So that's my goal. That's a promise I make to the folks to try to get everything answered in a timely manner.
Batting 1,000. We like to see that. Well done.
Part of why I'm exhausted, but I'll get over it. I'm an athlete, right?
Makes sense. You are an athlete. Absolutely. We're all athletes here. And speaking of athletes, we got the actual pros heading out to our mock draft this evening. So once again, folks, if you'd like to jump in the chat bar, feel free to do that. And we're going to answer all your questions live on air. The Raz Bowl is underway, so make sure you keep tabs on that, and we'll be back with you throughout the next couple of weeks, giving you updates and tabs and maybe some interesting finds. Matt and I already talked about it. There was an interesting pick at number 4 in my league. Kind of us both were like, wow, all right, like, you shoot your shot. I love it. But we're going to see how that unfolds throughout the season and the rest of the draft room, so we'll keep you posted on that. Okay, without any further ado, let's get into the mock draft. It is Mock Draft Monday. We had Jeff on 2 weeks ago. We had Bob last week. Stiles, you're in the hot seat tonight, and we are mixing it up every single week, trying to cover the different formats, although there are so many these days. And, of course, there are so many slots to be filled with the draft. We're going to go smack dab in the middle tonight. We're going number 6. We're doing a super flex redraft league. We've been doing Dynasty up until now. We're in redraft mode, different mentality. Super flex, obviously different than redraft or single quarterback. So, Matt, I'm just going to roll off what the YouTubers can already see on the screen, but out of respect for the podcast family, I'm going to run through those picks as well. And then we're going to go right into our draft and start knocking out some runs here. So first off the board in the Superflex League, we had Josh Allen, then Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson coming off that injury, only played 2.5 parts of 4 games, but he's number 3 off the board in a redraft league ahead of almighty Mahomes at number 4. King CMC goes at 5. No wide receivers off the board yet. Matt, we are on the clock at number 6. Let's go back to suggestions and check out who we actually have available. So again, we're using the Draft Wizard Draft Simulator through Fantasy Pros, which we use every week, but they're giving us the general ECR throughout the industry of who they believe is available. Then we can make the decision on who we want. They're suggesting of all the players, again, super flex, so it's going to give us a bunch of quarterbacks right now, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud, Dak Prescott, and Joe Burrow as the next best available. We could go running back, wide receiver, tight end if we want to. In a super flex, number 6, I assume you're going to want to go quarterback here as well.
Yeah, I am. If I have the ability to draft one of the top 4 quarterbacks, I'm going to do so. I will tell you, I think the Draft Simulator has made a mistake in providing Anthony Richardson the 1.03. I don't know that Mahomes runs enough to be the guy you want in a Superflex league like this. So for me, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson all day, every day. And the only 3 players I have rated above him are Allen, Hurts, and Mahomes.
Okay.
And actually, Mahomes might be just tied or slightly behind Lamar.
And you do see the injury tab here. Before we hit that, there's a little red. You can see INJ online. The injury tab is basically he's been sick in camp. it doesn't seem like an injury, at least yet, right? So he should be good by week 1. CJ Stroud, Dak Prescott, and Joe Burrow there. I throw my hat in the ring for CJ Stroud only because we saw what happened last year. But again, super flex. There's another guy somewhere in the northern Midwest we might be looking for in a round or two that might be CJ Stroud light. So we'll see how that goes. But Matt, why don't you go ahead and smash it? Let's take Lamar Jackson with our first pick. All right, you can see it just busted out right there. Kyler Murray goes as well. Jaden Daniels. We also have another couple of picks. Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson. And, of course, how does that work out? That's why you mock right before our pick. Jordan Love gets picked. And, of course, I can already tell you without talking about that would have been our pick this round here. So C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love on that team. And then we also had Breece Hall get picked and Tyreek Hill with Jaden Daniels also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Quarterbacks go in the first round and a half. That is a super flex league. So, Matt, we wanted Jordan Love. Let's take a look at the quarterbacks. Let's go back maybe to the cheat sheets or the suggestions, however you want to take a look at that, and just see like who we're looking at and what positions. I know we like Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got Brock Purdy, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson also looking there as well. This is a full PPR league, so unless we have a super stud running back, then maybe we go wide receiver, but I'll let you go ahead and take the reins there. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne, the top running backs. Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and Caleb Williams as the quarterbacks. And why don't you give us a look at the wide receivers really quick as well? And I think all the tight ends are available. Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, and your boy Puka also. So what are you thinking here? We're in the middle here, so we're not getting any turns. It's just going to be pick, and then we got to wait and pick, and we got to wait. So we got to either set trends or follow them.
So I will go back to the draft board, and I will tell you that I've got Amon-Ra St. Brown as my wide receiver 2 behind CeeDee Lamb. It's a very close to Tyreek. Then I have Jamar Chase behind them, and I have in my first tier Justin Jefferson at the very bottom of that. I'm probably going to stay away from him due to the quarterback situation in Minnesota. I also look here. There are four teams with quarterbacks, only one team with 2. These folks are probably going to take one. So let's say there's 5 quarterbacks gone by the time it gets back to us. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hit that other suggestion. Scroll down and hit other suggestion. They'll add one more there, Trevor.
5, 6. I can live with Justin Herbert as my quarterback 2, but even more than that, I think one of these guys, maybe this guy right here, slips a little bit. So I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to go with my second favorite wide receiver on the board, or pardon me, first on the board and second overall. So I like this in a full PPR. Give me 100 receptions from this young man in Detroit.
Smash it. And now another thing too to consider, we'll see how this falls to us and if we could do it. It does, and I like it a lot. So we'll take another look at the draft board. Let me just rattle it off here for everybody listening and paying attention here. So again, Amon-Ra St. Brown is our pick. So we have Lamar and Amon-Ra. Then Saquon goes, Brock Purdy, A.J. Brown, Tua, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jonathan Taylor on the turn. Then Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry. We are back on the clock at 3-6. When you're talking redraft and superflex ball, which Razzball is, and that's where our brains are at. But when it makes sense, I do love me a stack. Just want to throw that out there. And it is a super flex league. So when you're looking at quarterback, Jared Goff, Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Herbert are the tops. Let's take a look at the other positions before we commit. But Travis Etienne, Isaiah Pacheco, Devon Achane, and Rachaad White. How about the wide receivers? Marvin Harrison, your boy Devontae, Chris Olave, and Drake London. And then still, I think all the tight ends are available. So that's, Laporta, Kelsey, McBride, and Andrews. Super flex. So this is everybody. So the ECR will tell us that Marvin Harrison's best available, then Goff, Caleb Williams, and Devontae Adams. I'm good with 3 of the 4 of those guys. You and I feel the same about Caleb. We're fading him more than the industry. I'm good with the rest of the 3. What do you want to do here?
I love the idea of the stack as well. And if we go back to the draft board, the likelihood of Jared Goff I don't think Jared Goff should have made it back to us, but he did. And look at this.
3 running backs,
Boom, boom. Okay. At a certain point, he's either going to, he's going running back bully right off the bat. Either that person is going to have to take a quarterback. Well, it doesn't matter. We're insulated from this team right now.
Twice.
There will not be a quarterback that goes here. there probably has to be a quarterback that goes here. For me, I love the stack with Amon-Ra, and if you're good with that, we're going to smash that. Then we're going to look for either Devontae or Harrison to slip. I don't think they will, but you never know. These two guys down here might slip to us. So if you're good with smashing right here for the stack, then that's what we're going to do. Because you and I want nothing to do with this guy right here.
True. And I'm, everybody knows I'm a Herbert homer, and I'm good with a bounce back from Trevor. But right now, I want the stack, and I just feel like Goff is a better option in fantasy right now than the other three up there. Let's do it.
Yep. And I think Goff has 14 indoor games, and we love indoor golf.
Oh, yeah. Insane. Yeah. Absolutely does. I don't think he plays outdoor until like week 11 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. And by the way, early buy, so he's not hurting you in the playoffs.
Let's do it.
All right. There it is.
So we got the stack here with the Lions. I love that. Let's go back to the draft board really quick and see who we got. 2 tight ends did come off the board, Laporta and Kelsey. I was thinking about them if those were to fall. Isaiah Pacheco went after us. Caleb Williams, Trevor, and Justin Herbert go 3 in a row after us. We knew that would happen, and that would have been Jared Goff. So good foresight there, Matt, that we definitely would have missed out. Marvin Harrison and Devontae go. No shocker there either. Sam Laporta goes, and then Olave, Michael Pittman, and Debo go 3 in a row there on the back end, and then Travis Etienne and Travis Kelsey right before us. So we're back at the 4-7. We have our 2 quarterbacks, so we're good there, and we have Amon-Ra St. Brown with the stack. I feel really nice about this team so far. We can look at running backs and wide receivers at this point and see what we're feeling with our guys. Now, our quarterbacks, again, that's Lamar Jackson. So who is the stack for Lamar Jackson at this point? Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. Might be a little early for those guys. Mark Andrews may be on the way back if he falls. I kind of like as another stack, but it's a little early for that right now. So wide receiver and running back is what I'm looking at. Who jumps off the page for you?
I love Achane, what he can do, but he's in I guess you would call it a timeshare, or what was the old term, running back by committee.
Yeah, well, there's 12 weapons on the Dolphins as well.
And Mostert started. I mean, he just was insane last year. Wide receiver, I think that I love these 4 names right here. And I don't know why Deebo Samuel went ahead of Ayuk. Ayuk is going to play for the 49ers. He is not going to Washington. Yeah. And I know this would be a homer pick for you, but do you trust Kirk Cousins and in that Atlanta offense? If so, we kind of highlighted him as maybe if he comes back, we would get all over that. Again, I like this guy down here too. Sneaky, but based on the experts' percentage, maybe he makes it back to us.
Yeah.
The draft board says he probably will not. Draft board says there's 5, 6 running backs gone. So I would say running back is where we're going to find our value with a guy like Kamara coming back. I like a receiver here, and I'm going to turn it over to you and tell me if you want to go with your guy, because sometimes it's about getting your guy, or if you want to go where the experts say.
Yeah, I like that. So I do love Drake London, and I do think Kirk Cousins is going to be just fine. I just like the Michael Pittman thing I talked about with Jeff. I want to see – I think Drake London can do it. I watched him at USC. I'm a Pac-12 guy. Kid's a beast. I'm not worried about that. I just want to see the Atlanta offense actually do what we want it to do. And I know we're post-Arthur Smith. It should. But until then, and we're apples to apples, I know what Ayuk can do. And after all this contract talk and how Shanahan and Lynch handle things, he'll be signed in office, he'll be happy, and they're going to pepper the shit out of him. Also, I don't want to wish this upon my Niners or fantasy managers, but Debo and Kittle are not 100% going to play all their games. When they don't, Ayuk's the one to step up even more. So I would like to go Ayuk, homer pick or not. I just think it's the best pick.
I agree. I think I have these 2 swapped, and I would tell you that this guy kind of sneaking around here. I've got him a little bit higher than London as well. So let's take your guy, and let's see if Mark Andrews slides.
He does. Draft board recap really quick, but I think you just mentioned our pick here. Brandon Ayuk, Joe Mixon goes to the team. Now, of course, folks, before our people are going, what the hell are they thinking? This is draft. This is not real people. This is an auto draft. This probably would not happen in any league ever. But the reality is it goes by percentages and who's going to be picked. Doesn't matter which team these guys go to. The point is they're off the board for us to come back. Joe Mixon goes to the team with already 3 picks, 3 running backs. But Drake London, Jalen Waddle, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, and DK Metcalf all go. So I'm really glad that we got our wide receiver there, Matt, because we were not going to get our guy or 2 after the fact. So good call there. Joe Mixon, Devon Achane, Rachaad White, and Kamara went. That's kind of a bummer because I know we were feeling Kamara, but we did talk about going with the double stack here. We already got the Lions, which Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. For me, it's kind of, we can roll through the teams just to see who's available and make sure we don't skim over anybody. But to me, this is kind of an easy pick to go with Mark Andrews coming back healthy with Lamar Jackson as our other quarterback.
Yeah. So you got 2 teams that probably, it's not tight end premium. You get 2 teams that are not going to reach for another tight end. Where do we, if we go to suggestions, I wonder if we're going to see that name Zay Flowers on the wide receiver tab.
Nope.
We're not yet, but boy, there's some nice names there. This is a sexy name right here.
Absolutely.
Yep. So is this one. Actually, all 3 of them are, and I don't like the Bears. Running back, we got to get one sooner or later. I bet you at least 2 of these 3 are there when it comes back our way. And so I'm okay with passing on this guy to take our double stack. So if we're going to double stack, stop talking about it. We just do it and be done with it.
I agree.
All right.
Now, this is why we mock draft, folks. Look at our team roster. So let's just kind of zoom in, Matt, on our roster. That's fine. We'll just hold it here. So we have Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff as our quarterbacks. Again, super flex league. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Brandon Ayuk as our wide receivers. 2 number ones, in my opinion. Ayuk's more of a number 1 than Debo at this point, at least in wide receiver terms. And then Mark Andrews, who, if Sam Laporta, McBride, and Kelsey slip it all, Andrews has already proven that he could be a number 1, and that combo with him and Lamar Jackson's great. So we have 2 stacks, 2 number 1 wide receivers, a number 1 tight end, and 2 great quarterbacks. So we're going to need to start pounding running back here. This is a 3 wide receiver league. So let's take a look at the running backs. Only 2 went. That was Josh Jacobs and James Cook. I know I've been hating on Josh Jacobs for 5 years on this program, but I said from the beginning when it happened, I like the situation in Green Bay so much better, so I would have been okay with him there. I also like James Cook. DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Devonta Smith, Amari Cooper, Malik Neighbors, Zay Flowers does go, Christian Kirk off the injury, and Tank Dell. All those wide receivers go. So again, glad we got our 2 top dogs. Kirk Cousins and Matt Stafford are the quarterbacks as well, but we're pretty good off that at this point. Let's take a look at the running backs. And again, these teams ahead of us have a bunch.
Without looking at suggestions, who do we think the 4 wide receivers, or excuse me, running backs? I think up here you can see there's 1. That's a freebie. Kenneth Walker the third. Aaron Jones is going to be on that list. And who do we think the other 2 names are going to be? Does anybody jump out to you? David Montgomery?
Montgomery's definitely one to consider. Again, even in that timeshare, like, again, though, let's take a look at the pick here. We got 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. I was just going to count the guys. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 running backs already off the board in a 3 wide receiver league and super flex. So even if we're thinking, man, we're short on running backs, look at these other teams. Some of these teams don't have a second quarterback yet. I hate that in Superflex. We do. We have a premier tight end. We have 2 number 1 wide receivers, and we have stacks to go with it. We're in the RB dead zone, if you will, but let's start making the most of it. I would believe that David Montgomery would be available and a nice pick here. I do like Aaron Jones also getting a fresh start in Minnesota. And as you mentioned, Kenneth Walker, as long as he stays healthy, it is a PPR league. So I want to keep that in mind. But let's take a look at who's available in the suggestions.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a name before we even switch back. Jalen Waddle was not drafted.
Wasn't he drafted earlier? Maybe not. Go ahead and take a look. Yeah, I think he was like earlier.
Did I miss it?
Where's he? Yeah, 410.
My bad. He would have been a great
holy
pick.
shit.
Yeah, I missed that. Okay, so here's our wide receivers. I love these top 2, but they don't jump out to me as what we want to lean on right now. And I think, I think Seattle's going to throw the ball more than they did last year. But this is a wonderful name. Actually, all 4 of them. I don't have a problem with any one of the 4.
And I think we'll get 2 of these guys, because if you look back on the draft board, and again, this is why this is an awesome tool and just a way to work a mock draft. Again, take a look. This team in front of us should not be taking another running back. I know they have so far, so we'll see what happens. But after that, those three teams in the middle have to take a running back, right? And the Anthony Richardson and the Josh Allen team have to take quarterbacks almost at this point. So I think they're going to be focused elsewhere, and maybe even some tight ends start going as well. So I agree. I wrote actually kind of in my bust article early in running backs. I've been handling running backs for us all summer long. Ramondre Stevenson was a guy that I'm just kind of not interested in with this Patriots offense this year. I love James Conner, not as much as Bob does, but I'm a big Trey Benson guy. So I'd rather take Trey Benson in the 10th, 11th round, who I think will be the starter in week 5 anyway. Aaron Jones I like, but Kenneth Walker's the automatic there as long as he's healthy. So Matt, I'm with you. I know that Aaron Jones has gone to the dark side at this point in the NFC North, but longtime fan. And of course you saw him just absolutely rip up the playoffs last year and take out the Cowboys pretty quickly there. And we did see David Montgomery pop up at the bottom, but he might come back around to us. So I'm going to leave this pick to you, man. Who are you feeling?
I'm with you. I'm with Kenneth Walker, and I wouldn't be shocked if Aaron Jones, James Conner, and two of the three with Montgomery come back. I think Ramondre is going to go before it gets back to us.
Let's do it.
We'll go Kenneth Walker. We won't look at the screen. Nobody's looking. Aaron Jones gone.
Nice. This actually worked out well for us. So let me just blast all this off here. Calvin Ridley goes after. Trey McBride goes. That's the 4th tight end. Aaron Rodgers, T. Higgins, George Pickens. Now we got that second quarterback, and then Baker Mayfield. So again, you wait on a second quarterback in a single. Honestly, that Aaron Rodgers could be sneaky. If he stays healthy, you got him in the late 2nd or 6th round in a super flex. But Baker, there's your second quarterback with Josh Allen. I don't know that I love that. Aaron Jones does go. Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin. Don't forget about him. I think Washington takes a step up this year. And then Deshaun Watson also. So George Pickens does go. That would have been a nice pick. But for us, man, I think we need another running back. 3 of our 5 guys that we talked about are still on the board. Zamir White, we've all been talking about all summer long, but maybe he falls again. James Conner, Ramondre Stevenson, and David Montgomery are available as well. And then we got DeAndre Swift, another one of these Bears. So we talked about David Montgomery. We also like James Conner. If we get Conner, I almost make it mandatory for us to reach for Trey Benson. That's just my rule with James Conner this summer. But I like the rest of these guys some more than others. So who are you feeling?
I'm kind of feeling DeAndre Swift, but I think you look at the ADP, 83, 88, 86, and 84, right? They're basically the same person. I think we go with the lineup that we trust more, or with it being a full PPR, the gentleman we think is going to catch more passes. And for me, that's Conner, followed by Swift, and then Ramondre 3rd. I don't know if Ramondre gets as many dump offs as he did last year with the improvement New England's made at both quarterback and wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's kind of Conner, but I am willing to listen to what you have to say.
No, it's okay. I'm good with Conner too. And Bob's probably clapping his hands, and Jeff, who I've been talking about Trey Benson with all summer, is like, what the hell are you talking about, Sky? You're talking out both sides of your mouth. I am ish. But again, since we win James Conner, we're going to reach pretty soon for Trey Benson. Secondly, though, as long as he's healthy, there's no question about it to me with Kyler Murray coming back. I know we have Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride, the new hotness in Arizona. Old reliable matters in NFL terms, and therefore it helps fantasy football. James Conner can catch the ball as well. I like that. So Kenneth Walker and James Conner are not my favorite 2 running backs to have as my 1 and 2 in a PPR league. However, the way the rest of our team has shapen up, Matt, and for those guys to be our 6th and our 7th rounder guys with the first 5 picks being stalwarts, I feel really, really strong about this squad. So let me blast this off here really quick for everybody. Again, we got Chris Godwin, Dalton Kincaid, and Kyle Pitts, Ramondre Stevenson, Deontay Johnson. Don't forget about him in Carolina in PPR leagues. JJ McCarthy. So a 3rd quarterback, I believe, on that. Nope, it's a 2nd. Okay, 2nd quarterback going with the rookie.
Yeah.
Rome Odunze. Neither one of us like the Huskies, so we'll just skip over that one really quick. Jaden Reed, maybe the number 1 wide receiver in Green Bay. Rashee Rice, who doesn't have a job currently, but that might end up a nice pick there in the 8th round. Zamir White, DeAndre Swift, and David Montgomery going after all those guys. I'm pretty surprised. Don't forget about him, folks. He can catch the ball. He's a goal line guy, and the Lions are going to have a great offense. We're back on the clock here. We got a couple picks left in the 8th round. We just went Kenneth Walker and James Conner. Now we do have 2 wide receivers, we have 2 running backs, we have 2 quarterbacks, and we have a stud tight end. Matt, we're as absolutely even as you can possibly be right now. Why don't you hit that little arrow we got rid of pre-show up in the top corner, and then go to our team, the teams up there in the very top. Okay, and then that kind of lets us know what our roster actually looks like. Scroll down a little bit, please. So we've got, basically, we're looking at bench at this point. We have 2 flex positions and a wide receiver position. So again, 3 wide receiver league. We can take a look at that. For sake of the show, I say it every time, folks, but I feel like I always have to. We do not have a deep bench intentionally for sake of this show. Obviously, in a real league, we would have more picks. We're not doing DST or kicker also. So we have a wide receiver, 2 flex positions, and then 2 benches, I think? Keep going down a little bit. All right, 2 benches. So we have 5 picks left, Matt, and we got to fill the wide receiver up at least. And then we got 2 flex positions as well. So go ahead and go back. You can kill that tab over there. Perfect. Give us a little more room, and then we can take a look. So we got a couple OGs on the board there at wide receiver. Nuke Hopkins, Jalen Warren, who we like, Hollywood Brown with Mahomes now, and Najee Harris. What are you thinking for the next pick? We're as even as you can get.
Yeah, I kind of dig Hollywood Brown, but we already have. No, we don't, because he used to play in Arizona. He doesn't even more. I think Hollywood is going to outproduce Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is looking at probably not being suspended, but you never know what the NFL is going to do, what message they're going to send, right? Are they looking at being woke during this suspension discussion? Are they looking at TV ratings? I don't know, right? We're not in the back room with smoking cigars with these guys, so who knows what they're looking at. I think this dude down here, sneakily down here, is going to be a touchdown machine, and his numbers are actually better than you would think. I would draft him before Jalen Warren, and you know how much I like Jalen Warren. I have Hollywood above Nuke. Let's see who they have. Well, I mean, there's a sneaky dude down there. I don't really want Tony Pollard if I don't have to. This guy's going to be nice. But I kind of dig Hollywood, but I will let you talk me into Nuke Hopkins if that's your preference.
You know, interestingly, I kind of have a different thought here. For giggles and wiggles, can you look at the quarterbacks one more time? Okay, not exciting.
What about this dude that plays like a wide receiver?
Yeah, well, and Kittle's there too. I also love David Njoku, actually. I think there's some nice. We do have a number 1 tight end, and it's, I don't necessarily want to reach for that just yet. And those guys, they could fall.
Yeah, we've got 2 flexes though.
2 flexes, yep. And you were mentioning the wide receiver, which kind of makes sense. But running back wise, because of who we have, I really like Jalen Warren here, actually. And furthermore, I really like Raheem Mostert in a next round or 2 as well, just with his explosive ability also. So this is kind of a tough round here. I don't dislike the Nuke Hopkins, although he's battling Calvin Ridley and whatever, but I also, kind of like the Hollywood Brown there pick, but there's a lot of mouths to feed. And I do think that Xavier Worthy is going to take a lot of that as well. Plus you got a battle with Kelsey. So in a PPR league, for me, it would be the top 2. It would be DeAndre Hopkins or it would be Jalen Warren.
All right. Only 1 tight end has gone after us.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to need a quarterback at some point. 2 quarterback, 2 quarterback, 2 quarterback, 2 quarterback. Okay. And then running backs probably are not going to get drafted too high. We could probably get the lesser of Warren
and Mostert,
Najee, and Mostert coming back if we do a Nuke or Hollywood.
Okay. I'll lean on you for this one. What are you thinking? Hollywood Brown. We'll take the plus in our locker room, Matt. Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown already have rapport.
Yep.
Love to see that, right? That's good clubhouse. That's good for the barbecues, pregame and postgame. I like to see that.
Yeah, we lost all 4 running backs. So sometimes you have to take a shot. All 4 running backs were gone. Now, I will tell you that in my back pocket, I have JSN.
Yep, and I have Trey Benson still. So
yes,
I feel good about it.
Trey Benson's going to go right here at 12-7 probably.
All right. Bryce Young, Najee Harris. Let me just get that board really quick for the podcasters. Bryce Young, Najee Harris, Evan Ingram, Jalen Warren, Tony Pollard, George Kittle, Nuke Hopkins, Raheem Mostert, Jordan Addison, and David Njoku all go off the board. We have 4 picks left here. We have our 3rd wide receiver picked. We have 2 flex and 2 bench, Matt. Let's go back to the board for our 10th rounder. So it's showing us Javonte Williams, Brian Robinson, Tajay Spears, Zach Moss. And then we have at wide receiver, JSN, Cortland Sutton, Christian Watson, Xavier Worthy. Tight end, Evan Ingram didn't go, did he?
He did.
There's Ladd down there. He did go. Okay. At tight end, who we got? Jake Ferguson, Dallas Goedert. So we're not going to reach for any of those guys. We got Mark Andrews. And then at quarterback, we're not interested in anyone there either. So same names that we got our 2 studs. So I'm good with the running back or wide receiver. The wide receivers look a little more impressive to me right now as far as like upside. JSN, even Cortland Sutton, honestly. Of course, upside for Watson's great, but what are we going to get? And then I like Worthy as well, but we probably don't need to get him this round. I like JSN there if you'd like to go for it.
I do as well. Then you've got the rookie and the veteran coming up down there. So yeah, I'm with you here. Let's
do it.
Smash.
All right, let's go back to the board.
Look at the running backs just go.
Yeah, but not Trey Benson. And honestly, this is probably gonna be my reach round, if you will, because he's probably gonna go after that. Yep. All right. So we got Brooks, Singletary, Jonathan Brooks, rookie out of Texas and Carolina, Singletary, Brian Robinson, Tajay Spears, Nick Chubb, pour one out from my boy Nick Chubb, and Javonte Williams and Zach Moss are the running backs. We have Worthy, Ladd McConkey, and Christian Watson go as the wide receivers. Then Freiermuth and Ferguson go as the tight ends. Let's take a look at the stat sheet. If Trey Benson's listed at all, we're taking him at running back. Of course, he's not.
Look at this guy.
Yep. I like that in PPR too. And in the 10th round, I don't mind it. He's down there, but he might come back. I'm willing to take the risk because I do think that he's still going to be a thorn in the side. And Anthony Lynn, who was with Eckler for a long time and with the Chargers, is with Washington now. I like that continuity there. I like another running back. I'd be okay with Eckler and Trey Benson. And we're kind of we got wide receivers and the rest of our team's looking good, man. So unless somebody else jumps off the page for you, I'd like to go Eckler and Trey Benson probably back to back if we can. I don't love Eckler there he goes. I don't love Eckler as my have to play him guy, but in PPR, if he stays healthy and anything happens to Robinson, then I like that a lot. So you play with fire. I know I've just said that for weeks that if I go Connor, I'm going to reach for Trey Benson. We didn't get him, but I like it because as long as Connor's healthy, we're going to leave him in, and Eckler's there as a nice complementary piece. So like that a lot. Keon Coleman, who I know Jeff likes a lot. And then we got Zeke, Jerome Ford, Blake Corum, Chase Brown, Gus Edwards, and Trey Benson do go to running backs. Cortland Sutton and Brian Robinson go as well, and Dallas Goedert. We got 3 picks left, Matt. We're kind of we're just looking for extras at this point. So who are you thinking? We got 2 picks, excuse me. Running back or wide receiver?
None of those guys really set my heart aflutter.
Mine neither. Any quarterbacks? Even like a younger cat, like a Bo Nix or something?
Look at this best baller right here.
Oh, well, that's our 3rd stack.
Yes, it would be.
I don't hate it.
Quarterback is still the same 4 that we've seen up on the board.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, maybe not right now, but maybe next round because, having 3 quarterbacks is not a bad idea when you're playing in Superflex. But a Bo Nix or, even Daniel Jones. I know we all kind of bash him, but when he's healthy, bro, he's a top 6 quarterback with the rushing upside. If we like
Tajay Spears and we like Calvin Ridley and we like Nuke Hopkins, guess what? We have to enjoy Will Levis.
Levis, that's true.
Look at this. Look at this flow.
Yeah, that's an interesting do. And if the Raiders could get get their quarterback together, Hawkinson's, I mean, that's an easy pick for me, bro. And knowing how it works, he's going to be on the pup. So like in an actual draft, you just move him right to your IR spot and forget about him, pick up somebody else, and you have him. I think that's nice. Hawkinson's kind of sneaky right there, honestly.
Yeah, I just don't know if he's going to be back before. I don't know how long.
Also, I'll throw this out there too. We missed out on Trey Benson. Don't love it, but who knows what that Cardinals offense is actually going to be like. we have a good idea what the Seahawks offense is going to be like. We have Kenneth Walker already. That's a really nice PPR handcuff.
Yeah.
Boom. All righty. I believe this is our last pick, is it not?
It is.
It is. Okay. Well then, let's see. We got Dobbins, Kendre Miller, Lockett, and a bunch of running backs. Dowdle, Antonio Gibson, Chuba Hubbard, Ty Chandler, Jaleel McLaughlin, who's kind of sneaky there in Denver, Roshan Johnson, Tyler Algier, and Marshawn Lloyd, who I really like in Green Bay as well. And then Jameson Williams also. This is our last pick, Matt. Our team is very balanced. Do we want to go Hawkinson and just kind of wait him out? Do we want to get a super upside guy? Josh Palmer, I think, is a great pick right there. Or just more depth at running back.
I probably am going to. I love Eli Mitchell, but that you have to hope for an injury, and I don't like playing that type of.
Well, especially the guy that has to get injured for that to happen. We're hexing the entire community, which I don't want to do.
Yes,
that's very bad juju.
This is the pick. I'm with you. This
Smash
is the pick I love.
Let's do it. And that'll round out our team. It'll end it here for us. Looking pretty good. Scroll up a little bit. Let's see your draft grade. Boom. So we crushed it. So again, let's go back to.
Does it give you a grade somewhere? Did you say?
Yeah, I thought it just did there. I think we just clicked out of it. But try the draft result maybe up in the corner or something. Maybe we click out of it. It should draft analysis. Analyze the draft up top there. Yeah. Oh, never mind. It'll ask us for signups, so don't worry about that. That's the end of the draft there. But we did. It's okay. We can just stop sharing the screen there. Matt, of that squad, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, two great picks, right? We don't have the team in front of us anymore. Doesn't matter. Talk about it. I love those two picks. We had two stacks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mark Andrews. Love that. Our running backs went a little bit late, but James Conner I like. Kenneth Walker. We got Zach Charbonnet as well. And then we got some depth on the back end piece, man. Really, really solid squad. There was a couple guys we passed up there. Was there anybody in specifically you would like to have seen on that team instead?
I would have liked to find a way to get Najee, but I don't dislike Hollywood Brown where we took him. Either way, right? You say you're going to play with fire. So one of them's not coming back. At that point, I think we needed, quote unquote, a wide receiver more than a running back. And when we added Eckler and Charbonnet after that, it tells me that there's some running back depth later that you can get a hold of. What I did notice is when there was a big run on running backs, we started both runs at the end. Eckler started a run, Charbonnet started a run, and then at the end, who did we end with? Josh Palmer. There were still running backs going, but do you want Eckler or do you want Khalil Herbert? I don't want anything to do with Herbert if I've got a chance at Eckler.
Not
if
anymore.
I've got Kenneth Walker, I'm taking Charbonnet over Roshan Johnson, over Blake Corum, over Ty Chandler, right? Those are not the backups I want. I want the guy that insulates my squad, my Kenneth Walker-led squad, when it comes down to winning or losing. For me, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Herbert was my guy last season or the season before. I like the upside, but sometimes these especially running back, dude, some guys bounce back from injury in a big way. I think Nick Chubb could really surprise us come week 6 or 8 when he gets fully healthy. I think J.K. Dobbins also is going to do the same thing in spurts maybe, but some of these guys, man, like Tariq Cohen, another Bear who was super fun for fantasy. And he was a nice little RB4 and bye week guy, PPR. The dude just got hurt and he's out of the league. I mean, like that, which is really a bummer. So I agree with you there. I do like the way that we set our team up. We got a top 3 tight end. We got in super flex, we got 2 top 10 quarterbacks, 2 top, stud wide receivers, Brandon Ayuk and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then set up depth the rest of the way there. So Matt, I really like that team. Feel free to leave a comment if you thought our team was amazing or horrible. We like to hear from you either way. And as Maddie will always say, and I'll back him up on this, he's batting 1,000, folks, on your comments on articles at football.rasball.com. All of your very, very polite, patient, and professional tweets and recommendations for Rasball leagues. He's also going to get back to you on all of those. So please be patient and polite and professional on those. And he'll be with us the rest of the summer as well. Razzball, once again, underway, folks. So keep a tab right here. Everything Razzball is available at Razzball NFL. All of our articles, football.razzball.com. Subscribe right here to the YouTube channel and the podcast as well, anywhere you listen to your Razzball content. Maddie, any last thoughts here before we get out of here on a mock draft Monday?
Arozarena hits his first home run for the Mariners, and they get blown out 14-7 by Boston.
So a little give and take, maybe a little like love to see that. Shit. One of those. Yeah. How about Bob's not on the show, is he? No, I don't see him. I don't see him. Okay. Well, off the record, how about Blake Snell accidentally throwing 15 Ks, Matt? First Giant to do it since my boy Timmy Lincecum 2009 during a no-hitter against the Pirates. Just enough to where he gets a lot of attention to the NL and the league to get traded, but also just enough to where Farhan's definitely going to keep him on the Giants.
Yes.
Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Go Giants. All right, folks, we'll see you next time on the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. Shout out to all of our fans in Tampa and San Francisco and everywhere in between. Good luck to all of our Razzball drafters. Make sure you keep tabs on your draft position, and we'll catch you next time on the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. For my boy, Matty Stiles, I'm your host, Sky Guasco. We'll catch you next time. We are out of here.